This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. What a week it has been in the weather world.
Yes, it has.
You got some rest for
I
some
did.
days off. Good.
I did, finally. That's why Tawana's off this morning. The rest of the week, she's taking a few days off. Yeah, we're getting through it.
We are. But, I mean, once again, we say, it's cold outside. Layer up.
It is. Layer up for sure. But this is actually the warmest morning we've had this week, if you can believe that. Let me get you outside to the Spaghetti Junction, where it is now 15 degrees. Traffic picking up, but at least in downtown, we're moving along just fine. But you notice in southern Indiana, not only do we have single-digit temperatures, we've got below zero temperatures. Seymour is 1 degree below zero right now. North Vernon, you're at 5 degrees below zero. Further to the south, we've had more clouds throughout the night across central Kentucky. That's why it's 23 in Litchfield, 21 in Mupfordville, and 18 in Campbellsville and Columbia. The next 12 hours show all of us climbing into the mid-20s later today. Clouds keep on filtering in as well. We stay dry during the day today. Later this evening, however, another dose of light snow moves in. That's why we have wave weather alert days in place, not only for Friday, but also into early Saturday. We explain more of those alert day details coming up in a few minutes. Right now it's 7:01. Here's Rob Wells with a check of the roads. Rob?
Carson, thanks so much. Still keeping our eyes on a couple of snafus that you need to be aware of this morning. Good morning to you as you head out. We're keeping an eye on 65 South. This is right at Grade Lane after it looks like a semi-partial jackknife of a semi-tractor trailer right in that area. Traffic kind of backed up as you approach that area. So certainly watch out at 65 South at Grade Lane. Also keeping our eyes on a vehicle that spun off into the snow right there at 264 West at Kane Run Road. That's been out there for more than an hour. Hopefully some crews out there soon. Up in the right corner of your screen, they're still keeping our eyes on a trouble spot, a crash at 71 in LaGrange near Oldham County. That may slow you down. We'll keep an eye on things throughout the morning. Olivia.
Thank you, Rob. And we're staying on top of this breaking news this morning. A church badly damaged after a fire in Shively. This happened at Highland Park Missionary Baptist Church on Shanks Lane near Kane Run Road. MetroSafe says there were no injuries reported. You can see there was heavy damage to the structure. Fire crews are still on the scene right now. LG&E crews are there as well. We've reached out to Shively Fire to learn more about this. The risk for fires continues to be a problem as our area is still gripped by cold temperatures. Over the weekend, a fire destroyed the home of a family in Radcliffe. Kevin Morin says the fire started on the lower level of the home. He says he was watching TV in the living room Sunday morning when he noticed smoke coming out of the fireplace. His family's home was quickly covered in flames, destroying most things inside and out. He says he worked very hard on the house and he was devastated to see it in flames, but he thanks firefighters for keeping it standing.
It feels pretty overwhelming because I spent the better part of the last 7 or 8 years of my life trying to build up to this, trying to build up to own my own home, and I finally get my own home, and it just all went up in smoke in a matter of this.
Officials say issues with the chimney or fireplace most likely caused that fire. Experts say it's important to have your fireplace inspected and cleaned to prevent fires. A family friend has set up a GoFundMe to help support the Morin family as they rebuild and recover from this tragedy. The link to that is in this story on wave3.com. The snow, ice, and extreme cold have taken a deadly toll on Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear confirmed there are at least 11 deaths tied to the weather, including one man who died in Louisville. 55-year-old Richard Marshall was found Saturday morning near 18th and Market. The county coroner believes hypothermia is the preliminary cause of Marshall's death. In Morgan County, Marvin Knuckles also died. He was an inmate at the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Complex. Investigators say Knuckles died when he hit his head while he was clearing snow and ice. Knuckles was serving out a 12-year sentence out of Madison County. His family members say they're trying to process losing him and why he was out shoveling snow at such an early time of day.
But we just don't understand why inmates would be out at 1-something in the morning shoveling snow around a cliff in a prison. I said, what snow are they to shovel? Everything's solid ice, and we just don't understand it.
72-year-old Betty Veach died in the storm in Whitley County on Sunday. Her family said she had dementia and she walked away from her home and fell. The governor's office says hypothermia played a part in her death, and relatives are remembering Veach for the life she built and the person she was.
She could build a house by herself and wire it, and from the ground up, she could pretty much put one together. It may not be the best, but she could do it.
Governor Beshear says his team will reach out to family members to help with funeral costs. Other deaths were reported in Davis, Pulaski, Johnson, Jackson, and Owen counties. Some people are still digging out from the snow. Others worry about driving on roads that still haven't been thoroughly plowed. KYTC District 4 serves parts of Grayson, Hardin, Hart, LaRue, Washington, and Nelson counties. Officials say they pre-treated and plowed the roads there. They say because the cold temperatures are still here, though, there hasn't been much time for roads to clear up. KYTC shared video on Facebook of crews working near the Nelson County line. Nelson County Judge Executive Tim Hutchins told us he's disappointed in the clearing of state roads. Drivers also say people not clearing off the roofs of their vehicles is a problem.
It flew, boom, just like that. It came. It was really scary for me, being a passenger, thinking it was going to break and get into the driver, my husband.
KYTC says they have 15 scheduled driver routes to treat and plow roads they maintain in each county. They hope when the temperatures warm up, they'll make better progress on secondary routes. A 14-year-old boy is dead after LMPD says he accidentally shot himself. This happened on Greenwood Avenue just after 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. Officers started work to save the teenager's life when they arrived on scene. Until EMS got there, the team was taken to the hospital where he died. LMPD says after talking with witnesses at the scene, they believe the shooting was an accident. A former LMPD officer says the incident raises conversations about gun safety.
It's sad that tragic incidents have to happen like this for us to be aware of things that we need to do and be responsible gun owners and make sure that we have our guns locked up.
The name of the teenager killed has not been released. LMPD hasn't said if charges will be brought in the case. Lawyers for the man charged with killing his wife on Valentine's Day last year are expected to present their case today. Prosecutors rested their case in Taylor Meyer's trial yesterday. They say he killed his wife, Deborah Meyer. Prosecutors say he punched her, hit her with a wine bottle, choked her, stabbed her, and then texted her friends and family. They argue Meyer was out of his mind with rage.
Here's what my problem is. I think it's been said in this courtroom that this was a slow process. Seems to me, after he goes through the phone, he has had it.
Meyer faces up to 65 years in prison if convicted of murder. The Highlander Fire Protection District in southern Indiana is considering a big move that would start next year as they could join the Floyd County Fire Territory. The Floyd County Fire Territory started operations in the first of this year and consists of the Georgetown Fire Protection District and the New Albany Fire Protection District. A meeting Wednesday night focused on a lot of the financial implications if Highlander were to join the territory. Tax experts from the firm Baker Tilly estimate that in 2027, Georgetown, Georgetown Township, and New Albany Township will see property tax decreases, while Greenville Township, and Lafayette Township, all in Highlander Fire Zone, would see tax increases in 2027.
Are there other things that could cause other changes on your tax bill? Yes. there are. The value of your home could change or will change. The school could issue debt. Some other unit, the library, could issue debt.
There will be 2 more public meetings before a vote on the issue. Those meetings are February 11th and 25th. Another meeting will be held on March 11th to vote on resolutions to expand the territory. Developers in Charlestown will soon breathe new life into a long-time abandoned structure in Charlestown. Since 2006, little has been done at the old Indiana Army Ammunition Plants Administration Building. That's on the corner of Highway 62 and Highway 3. Rob Wells is back with the next steps. Rob?
Yeah, hi, Olivia. The Indiana Army Ammunition Plants Administration Building and its 27 acres was recently purchased by FJR developers out of Louisville. Mayor Treva Hodges said that she's excited about the revitalization of the property after meeting with those new owners. While they discussed ideas, she says it's still early in the development process to confirm plans for what could happen. The mayor saying that the long-term vision could possibly include a mix of residential and retail ventures. She added FJR has tackled projects with great outcomes, including renovating the Quartermaster Station located in Jeffersonville. Mayor Hodges adding that the biggest plus for the project will be the jobs created both during construction of the site and then for the new opportunities created once development is finally complete.
Plant closed, there were a lot of jobs that were lost in this community. And so for a couple of decades after that, we saw, an economic decline. Now that the River Ridge Development Authority is building and selling land in that end of the plant, we're seeing more activity. We're seeing jobs come back online.
The acquisition also includes the commercial properties located at 1103 to the 1109 blocks of Market Street in Charlestown. The mayor says that the project is in the early development process and no official plans have been set just yet. Olivia, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. New video shows a man who was shot by federal agents in Minnesota had a previous interaction with ICE. We'll show you more and how federal investigators are using that footage. New video shows a dramatic icy water rescue after a man accidentally drove into a retention pond in Greensburg, Indiana. You can still see the minivan submerged in the pond, now covered in snow. The 66-year-old driver told first responders his GPS misled him in the snowstorm, so he went off the road, down the embankment, on the ice, and into the pond below. You can even see the tracks where the minivan drove on top of the ice until it broke through the retention pond. Take a look at this body camera video from a Greensburg police sergeant just within minutes. A team of firefighters and police were there on scene. You can also see fire crews tethered to ropes, take out a rack, pull the driver out of the window, and get him back to the bank safely. Glad he is doing okay there. But hey, Carson, I noticed there were some chunks of ice on the Ohio River yesterday. That's weird to see.
Yeah, up northeast of us, especially Olivia, as Ohio's starting to freeze up just a little bit. And I guess when you think about it, it's not really a surprise. It's just unusual. We haven't seen that around here really very often in recent years. Just gives you an idea of how extended this blast of Arctic air has been. Get you outside to Bardstown, kind of a fiery looking sky as that sun starts to come up. We'll see more clouds than sun as we go through the day today. Clouds already filtering in. It's 15 degrees here in Louisville. If there's any good news with this morning's cold, it's not quite as blustery outside, so we don't have much of a wind chill to talk about. It's still plenty cold, though, still below freezing. Hour 153 in a row now that we've had those temperatures below freezing here in Louisville. You got to go all the way back to 10 o'clock last Thursday night to see the last time we had those temperatures above freezing here in the city. We keep that streak going for a long time. 27 our forecast high today with more clouds and sun like we talked about. And those clouds are in advance of our next weather maker that brings that chance for light snow, technically this evening, but more so overnight into the early part of your Friday. Our alert day begins Friday, so it's with us throughout the entire day, mainly for snow. Snowfall amounts will be light, but given how cold it is, given how cold the ground is from this bitter blast of Arctic air we've had, it won't take much for that snow to stick and eventually cause slick spots throughout the day tomorrow. We'll watch that especially for the Friday morning drive. Now, looking ahead to Saturday, our alert day is primarily for dangerous cold, especially Saturday morning, where we'll have those low temperatures near zero once again, and those wind chills around 5 to 10 below zero. Let's focus on the snow chance in a little more detail for your Friday. It's about a 40% chance, and the most widespread snow showers are expected from about 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow until noon. You'll see that well here on Futurecast. Now, before 4 a.m. Friday, there could be a few flurries flying around, especially along I-64, and as the night goes on, those flurries will slowly drift southward and become a little more widespread. So here in Louisville, there's a possibility we could be done with the snow by this time tomorrow morning, and it would be mainly just an issue for our Kentucky counties. Notice that widespread snow moves out around lunchtime, but there could still be some lingering flurries throughout the entire afternoon and evening on your Friday. So accumulations look light at this point. I think along and south of I-64 is where we have the best shot for at least around a ½ inch, maybe 1 inch snowfall. And again, that's not a lot, but with those temperatures staying in the 20s during the day, falling into the single digits Friday night, any light accumulation will be enough to cause more issues on those roadways. Here comes the rest of your 10-day earliest alert. Bitter cold Saturday, dangerous cold Saturday morning. More snow opportunities next week. And Olivia, it looks like we will stay below freezing until the end of next week.
All right, nothing we can do about it. Thank you, Carson. New video has been released showing a scuffle between Alex Preddy and ICE agents in Minneapolis days before the deadly shooting. The cell phone video shows an incident from January 13th. You can see Preddy in the background. The video was shot by a local attorney more than a week before the 37-year-old's death by Customs and Border Protection agents. During the encounter, it shows Preddy kicking a federal vehicle's taillight in a crosswalk. Agents then tackled Preddy to the ground. Later in the video, Preddy said he was okay. It's unclear what took place before the video was recorded or after the recording cut off. Preddy's family confirms it is him in the video. The Department of Homeland Security says it's now reviewing the footage. We're moving swiftly towards another government shutdown if lawmakers can't come to a spending agreement by Friday. The current funding package consists of 6 different spending bills. One of those bills allocates $64 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, with $10 billion designated for ICE. Following the shooting death of Alex Preddy over the weekend, Democrats are threatening to block that bill. Instead, they want to pass the other 5 bills separately without funding ICE. Republicans say they're reluctant to do so.
Democrats are once again threatening to shut down the government, and Democrats are once again prioritizing illegal immigrants over American safety and American citizens.
Republicans voted to cut Secretary Noem a blank check and fund those roving bands of federal agents who have been knocking down doors without the slightest cause and without legal warrants.
One thing Senate Democrats and Republican leaders did agree on was the need for an independent investigation into Preddy's killing. If no spending deal is reached, the government will enter a partial shutdown at midnight on Friday. Hallmark working on a new movie, and this one features one of Kentucky's most famous events. We'll tell you details about that movie, a little bit about the plot, coming up after the break. You can embrace the flavors, music, and spirit of Mardi Gras without even leaving Louisville. All 3 Lulu locations will be hosting full-day celebrations on Fat Tuesday. That'll be February 17th. Wave News reporter Marissa Burke has a taste of that.
You can truly feel the spirit of New Orleans without leaving Louisville. When we talk about Lulu on Markets to celebrations on Fat Tuesday, I'm at Lulu in Middletown, but all 3 locations are going to be having some fun all day long on Fat Tuesday. I have Miles south of me. So Miles, tell us a little bit about what people can expect.
Yeah, so it's one big party all day long. It's our favorite day of the year every year. So we're going to have the classic New Orleans cocktails. We'll have some great food. We'll have some live music that you can see back here. It's going to be one big party all day long.
And when we talk about a party, I want to talk about the menu because you can truly taste the cuisines and the real feel of New Orleans with some of your dishes. And I'm talking about this po' boy.
Yeah, so we always do that for Mardi Gras, but we just recently put it on our full menu because people love it so much. So we've got our fried shrimp on there, our homemade Cajun remoulade. We've got the fries with the banana seasoning. That's one of my favorites right there.
It's so good. We also have my favorite, which is the shrimp and grits.
That's one of my favorites also. So we've got the shrimp and grits. The fried okra on top is the secret there. Shrimp and grits is good, but once you add that fried okra, it just takes over the top.
And we got to talk about beignets.
Yeah, you can't have a New Orleans party without beignets. So we've got great desserts. We do our bread pudding, our bananas foster, but this is the classic quintessential New Orleans dessert. We've got our powdered sugar on the beignets. They're homemade. We make that dough every morning. They're delicious.
And then for people who may be trying to stick to their New Year's resolutions, they also have their great house salad.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have some lighter stuff. You know, a lot of Cajun stuff can be kind of heavy. You got the carbs, the grits, all that. If you're still sticking to your resolutions, we've got a salad. This is our seasonal salad. Been on the menu since day one. We've got our molasses vinaigrettes, some fresh green apples on there, raisins, pepitas, blue cheese. Great salad.
So guys, if you are wanting to have a a celebration on Fat Tuesday. You can try any of the Lulu locations because they are accepting reservations, so you want to get them while they're hot. Marissa Bird, Wave News.
The dancing crawfish in the background looks like a lot of fun. Hallmark is working on a new movie, and it centers around the Kentucky Derby. The new film, called Kentucky Roses, will honor the pageantry tradition and enduring spirit of the Kentucky Derby. The storyline will take place across 2 timelines. Sadie works at Churchill Downs Greenhouse and dreams of becoming a florist, following in her great-grandmother's footsteps of supplying the Derby with roses. Sadie meets Ash, who's the son of the Churchill Downs CEO. Sadie and Ash develop a connection, but it could be cut short after they discover a bittersweet love story from the past that threatens to repeat itself. Wonder what that could be. To find out, the movie will premiere on Hallmark. That'll be on Derby Day, Saturday, May 2nd. And speaking of Derby, with the series cold sticking around, the Kentucky Derby Festival wants to ensure chefs have enough time to work on their Derby burger recipes. The original deadline to enter the contest was this Saturday. However, they're giving chefs an extra week to tweak their recipes following the winter storm. Participants will need to submit their entries by Saturday, February 7th. Competition rules and requirements are available on the KDF website. And as of today, we are 93 days away from the annual Run for the Roses. Wave is your official Kentucky Derby station. We'll have coverage of all the excitement leading up to the 152nd Kentucky Derby. Again, that is set for Saturday, May 2nd. It'll be here before you know it. That's all the time we have today. Have a great day.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning. I'm Olivia Russell. You're watching Wave. We're working to learn more about a Shively church that was damaged by a fire. This is video from earlier this morning. It happened at Highland Park Missionary Baptist Church on Shanks Lane near Cane Run Road. MetroSafe says there were no injuries reported. You can see there was heavy damage to the structure. LG&E crews were on scene as well. We reached out to Shively Fire to learn more about what started it. Now let's check in with meteorologist Carson Meredith for a look at this cold Thursday.
Indeed, Olivia, we're staying below freezing once again. We're staying below freezing for several more days to come, but at least we have a gorgeous sunrise, kind of a fiery look to the sky down in Bardstown. We're waking up this morning with a wide range of temperatures. In Bardstown, it's 11. Here in Louisville, it's 15. Notice those single digits, however, across southern Indiana. In fact, we're 1 below 0 at Seymour and 5 below 0 in North Vernon. Further south you go, slightly warmer, relatively speaking, in the upper teens to low 20s. The next 12 hours show those temperatures climbing into the mid-20s this afternoon with more clouds and sun throughout the day. We stay dry during the day today, but light snow does move in this evening and overnight tonight. Here's Rob Wells now with the check of the roads. Rob, it's busy out there this morning.
It certainly is, Carson. That's an understatement. Still keeping our eyes on a crash at 65 South at Grade Lane. It looks like a partial blockage after the jackknife of a semi-tractor trailer right in that area. Looks like they're still letting cars off at that ramp area, but it is very slow going. Again, 65 South at Grade Lane. We're also keeping our eyes on another crash cleanup. This is at 264 West at Cane Run Road. A car spun off into the actual snow right there, as you can see. That's been out there for a good hour and a half, almost 2 hours now. Still no response as far as a tow truck, so we want to keep our eyes on that area. And also keeping our eyes on 71 in Oldham County near LaGrange after a crash there, shutting down the lanes. Make it a great morning.